All right. Well, hello there, everybody. Boy, are you in for a treat because we are going to have a fascinating discussion because this topic is one of my favorite topics to discuss. Okay. And it's all about finding the perfect PO niche that works for you. And to discuss this topic, we are joined by the wonderful, the world famous, and dare I say, effervescent Starla Moore. Starla, how are you doing today?
Oh, awesome. You know, I was a little nervous until I saw all the wolf emojis in the chat. Oh my God, you guys.
I know. Shout out to all the handmade alphas. I know you're making your presence known in the chat. We love you, and thanks for showing up, and hope you enjoy this discussion. All right. Well, first of all, let's talk a little bit about me and Starla. Who are we, and why the heck should you listen to what we have to say? Okay. First of all, my name is Martin. I'm the expert consultant here at Printify. You've seen me throughout this Amplified event, and I have been with Printify nearly since the beginning, not quite, but almost. And I've worked with the biggest names in all of print on demand, our biggest merchants, and I host our webinars and our live Q&A sessions here at Printify, among other things. Starla, why don't you tell our audience a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys probably recognize me from YouTube already, but if not, my name's Starla Moore. I'm a manager over at eRank.com, which you might also recognize as Etsy's most popular SEO tool. And I'm the founder of the Handmade Alpha Academy, hence all the wolf emojis that you see in the chat. And in my free time, I'm also a science fiction author. They help you to find customers who have buyer intent or purchase intent, which means that you're reaching shoppers who are at those final stages of wanting to actually make a purchase.
Exactly. And our mission with this presentation is to not only explore explore niches and what they are, but make a case for why you should be very niche specific. So thank you for coming along for the journey. And at the end of today's presentation, we will be having a live Q&A session. Put your questions into chat. Starla and I will be happy to answer them, okay? And also, Starla, you're going to be giving away some prizes, isn't that right?
Oh my goodness, some big prizes.
All right, well, tell our audience, what's it all about?
Yeah, guys. So these are the biggest prize packages that we have ever offered before. We're going to be offering 5 eRank expert plans for a year. Those are normally $30 a month, and you guys are going to get 12 free months of that. So huge value there to help you with your research. We're going to be giving away 2 memberships to our Alpha Holiday Bootcamp that's going to be taking place from October 2nd through the 8th. We're going to help you to game up your marketing for Cyber Week, so that's going to be super exciting. And then we're also going to be giving away 1 scholarship to the Handmade Alpha Academy. That is a $1,000 value, and with that, you also get eRank and the Alpha Holiday Bootcamp annually. So you get the biggest prize package in that Handmade Alpha Academy scholarship prize.
Wow. So do yourself a favor, folks. Stay till the end and be a winner, because we'll be having a nice little quiz to find out who our winners are. So pay attention, because it might come in handy. And how it's going to work is whoever answers the question correctly, we'll pass that information along to Starla, and she'll be in touch with you on how you can claim your prizes, okay? But let's move along with today's discussion. We're going to throw some polls at you today as well. So why don't we start with our first poll of the day? First of all, how excited are you to talk about niches? Are you very excited? My entire life has led up to this moment. I'm about to explode with enthusiasm, or let's go already. The anticipation is killing me. I'm going to go with let's go already. The anticipation is killing me. Okay?
Absolutely.
So let's get right into it. First, what the heck is a niche? All right. Well, first of all, a niche is a specialized segment of the market. That caters to the specific needs of an audience or with unique needs, interests, or preferences. Now, for a couple of niche examples are fitness enthusiasts. They would be your animal lovers or travelers, okay? Just to give you a few examples. So niches are basically a target audience with specific needs, and which gives you opportunity to target them specifically. And we'll get into a little bit more about how you do that later on in the presentation. Now, there are also what's known as sub-niches. Now, sub-niches are more specialized and specific segment within that broader niche. So if we use those same examples from that I gave you there, For fitness enthusiasts, now a sub-niche would be like yoga enthusiasts or Pilates addicts. And if you know anyone who's into Pilates, well, they won't keep it a secret. They love telling you about it. That's for darn sure. And then for animal lovers, you've got your dog and your cat owners, and further down into the breeds, your Labrador owners, your poodle owners, et cetera, okay? So these are niches these are sub-niches that are associated with those original niches. And if we talk about travelers, okay, there's all sorts of different travelers, whether they're solo travelers or adventure travelers or people who like to go on cruises or go to theme parks, whatever it might be, okay? Each one of these you can target specifically with your business, and we'll get into a little bit about how exactly you do that, okay? So moving along. First, why should you even bother targeting a niche, okay, rather than selling to a broad audience? What do you say? What do you say, Starla?
Yeah, so if you try to sell to everyone, ultimately you're going to end up selling to no one, because you can build better customer understanding when you have a niche. Those customers can relate to you and you can relate to their morals and values, which is extremely important for them to create an emotional connection with you and your brand. Reduced competition. If you sell mugs, for example, it's really hard to compete on a platform like Etsy with just selling mugs. You don't want to compete with just mug sellers. You want to compete with mug sellers who specialize in, we'll say, pet designs. And if we want to sub-niche that even more, it could be specifically poodle owners, for example, and higher conversion rates. This is that purchase intent that we talked about. People who are searching for a very specific thing are typically ready to buy that very specific thing. And if someone's just searching for mugs, it's very likely that they don't know what type of mug it is that they want. Whereas someone who's looking specifically for a white poodle mug, they know exactly what they want to buy.
Exactly. And when you're able to specifically target a niche, you can really increase customer loyalty. By that I mean, if you target customers specifically, there's a higher chance that they're going to come back and buy from you again and again and again, because they know, this is where I go for this specific item. I know where to find it. I had a great experience, and you can capture sales again and again and again. Okay, and plus, it gives you the opportunity to streamline your marketing efforts. Rather than making every person on planet Earth your customer, you can find a specific niche of customers and find where the online spaces in which they congregate, and really have a targeted marketing effort, making the most out of your marketing dollar. And that's very important. You don't want to spend your ad money on people that just aren't going to buy from you. Okay, and also gives you the opportunity for product expansion. Once you really get to know your customers, okay, once you really get into a niche, you'll be able to find out which products are specific for that particular target customer. So if you're targeting the adventure travelers, okay, obviously you're going to want to sell them. You're going to want to sell them the travel tumblers and things like that. But again, there might be a subset of the adventure traveler that goes with their dog. So if you can sell them the pet bandana, for example. My point being is, the better you know your customer, the more you're going to understand their product needs, and you can plan accordingly. Let's go ahead and throw another quiz at you before we move on to the next subject. Okay? Since we're talking about niches, what's the most popular POD niche on Etsy? Okay, is it occupations like teacher, nurse, etc., or is it like mom life? Okay, mom's the greatest #1 mom. Is it bachelorettes? Okay, because there's no shortage of bachelorette products on Etsy. Or is it pets? Okay, all of these are super popular niches. Okay, put your answer into the quiz area right now, because the answer, drum roll please, is, Starla, you want to give us the answer?
It is occupations, which is great because there's so many occupations out there, right?
Exactly. Again, all of these are super popular, okay? But occupations, teacher, nurse, etc., are the most popular. Okay? Great. You're convinced. I want to target a niche. But how do I go about identifying popular niches and or sub niches?
Yeah, so market research is your first step. If you think that you have come up with an idea that's completely new and nobody's thought of it, and you're so excited, you're so innovative, well, unfortunately, that probably isn't the best sign because most great ideas have already been come up with, unfortunately. So instead of reinventing the wheel, it's usually best to do a little bit of market research and see if your idea actually exists somewhere out there and there's someone successful already selling it. Tools like eRank.com are perfect for this because we can share awesome data with you that will tell you around how many people are searching for some of these products. My favorite tool over there to do this is our monthly trend report. And we recently added a POD category to that. So you can actually see the top 100 most searched terms for the most popular POD products like shirts and mugs and tote bags. And once you really start diving into those, you can see what Etsy customers are really looking for.
Exactly. And don't skimp on your social media research, okay? Just being a person engaging with pop culture and being online in social media, you're going to run across all kinds of different things, okay? So even if you're exploring niches that don't necessarily apply to you, you'll be able to leverage the power of social media, be it Instagram, be it what are they calling it now, X? Or Facebook. The information is out there, so do yourself a favor and don't skimp on the power of social media to find these particular niches and popular niches, which can rise and fall, ebb and flow with the times and with the trends.
Yeah. And research tools, guys. Research tools are so important. You can't go into this blind with no idea how many people are searching for things, what things like the click-through rates are of certain keywords that you're using in your listings, whether those be your own website or Etsy or Amazon. Over at eRank, we have a really cool tool called the Keyword Explorer, where we just added some new marketplaces to that. So you can see around how many people are searching for specific types of products on all of the platforms that I mentioned. We also have the keyword tool that's going to help you to see how many competitors are selling the same thing as you, what some of the common price points those products are listed at. There's so many cool things that you can learn with tools like eRank. And speaking of that, competitor analysis is something that you can also do over at eRank. Competitor analysis is so important, whether that be through a research tool like eRank, where you can actually spy on your competitors and see what they're up to and what keywords they're using, or you're just popping on to Google and searching some of the keywords associated with your products to see what those competitors are doing, whether that be through their storefront or even on their social media accounts to see how they're actually advertising those products.
Truer words have never been spoken. I hope everyone was paying attention, because competitor research is a great way to see what's out there, to see what your competition is doing, build on their ideas, and make them your own. And also, just stay involved with the industry news. Okay, and don't skimp on the value of just keeping your ear open to what's happening in the cultural zeitgeist, okay? Because just being a member of pop culture, just participating in society, reading the newspaper, reading your favorite blogs. Does anyone still read newspapers anymore? I don't know, maybe they do. Reading your favorite blogs, again, social media, things like that. Just knowing what's going on, you'll be able to identify areas in which you can find customers to serve in these particular niches, okay? And being a print-on-demand seller, you are uniquely poised to quickly create a design, load it up on a product, and literally be selling in minutes. So where the competition, get out ahead of your competition on the upswing of the popularity of a particular niche or trend, and then capture more sales all the way until the downturn of that particular trend or niche. So don't skimp on that. And again, print on demand is perfect for that kind of business.
Yeah. And lastly, customer feedback and surveys. Now, first of all, when you're starting out, you might say, how the heck do I do a survey? Well, that's something that might come later after you've built up a social media audience. You can do little polls on Facebook. In your Instagram stories, you can add those little poll stickers and have, people who follow you vote on different things like designs or what you should create next. But for most of us, a lot of that feedback will come through customer interactions and our reviews. Start listening to the things that they're saying. If they message you and say, oh, I like this shirt, but I wish it had, you had it in this color, or I wish this design was on a sweatshirt instead of a t-shirt. You can take a lot of this to heart and use it to adapt and create new products in the future.
Exactly. But if you're looking for a niche to target, why not target a niche in which you are a member of? Okay, what that's going to do is it's going to give you an expertise and an insight into that niche that you don't have to research simply because your target customer is yourself. So instantly you're ahead of the game. You know what you know some inherent knowledge about that particular niche, and it gives you an air of authenticity and credibility. Like you'll be able to use the language and the terms, and you'll be in on the inside jokes of your particular niche. So when someone is reading your product descriptions or consuming your marketing, okay, you're going to sound like someone that they know because you are that target customer. It's going to give you instant credibility, and it's going to be able to bridge that gap or make the distance between you and your customer a lot smaller. Okay, as well as gives you access to the existing networks, because those are your networks. You already know the online spaces in which your community congregates. Okay, you already know the blog posts or the influencers that are popular in this particular niche. So basically, you get a leg up already on your research because again, it's you're trying to sell to.
Yeah, absolutely. And insider insights and trends. So for example, I'm a science fiction author. I stay up to date with what's going on in the book talk and bookstagram space. And I'm building a new business based around that because I know what's already trending. I am a member of that. And I am, in essence, my own target customer. Passion and motivation are also very important. If you hate dogs, for example, don't make a shop where you sell products for dog owners. Maybe you make products for cat owners instead. It makes you excited to wake up every single day and do what you actually love rather than just chasing a dollar, right? And content creation opportunities. I am an author and I love reading. So as a content creator as well, I can get on my social media and create marketing and videos and live streams and things that are really going to connect with my target audience and the people who are most likely to buy so that we can form a connection with each other and they feel more like they're buying from a friend rather than just another business, right?
Wonderful. Truer words have never been spoken. Let's throw another quiz at our audience, Starla. Okay, yeah. Which of the following is not a niche? Is it breakfast cereal enthusiasts? Is it POD side hustlers? Online dog trainers? Medieval farming practitioners? Or it's a trick question, literally anything can be a niche. Okay, put your votes in now. I think the answer is kind of obvious, but I'll give you a moment to put in your answer. Okay, well, of course, the answer is it's a trick question. Literally anything could be a niche, and this gives me an opportunity to just give a quick little tip here. We mentioned sub niches earlier. Now, make sure when you are choosing a sub niche that you don't sub niche down too far, because think about it. Every time you sub niche down, okay, pet owner, dog owner, Labrador owner, Labrador puppy owner, okay, black Labrador puppy owner. You are limiting your potential audience at every single stage, simply because, by definition, there are fewer people to target. So, for instance, if you target left-handed auto mechanics from rural Kansas that are also into stamp collecting, okay, what you've done is you've just sub-niched yourself out of a market, okay? Granted, there's probably one, two, or a handful of people that fit that description, but are you going to be able to build the foundation of your business on that? Probably not, okay? So just keep that in mind. All right. So let's go for some closing thoughts, and we'll get along with the Q&A, and we'll give away some prizes. Okay. Remember, trends can change quickly. Okay. There's any number of things that pop up and are popular for a moment. Okay. There's and then they just simply go away. So the opportunity to capitalize on that is often limited. Okay. So you, as the print-on-demand merchant, are uniquely poised to take advantage of that. Again, I'll go through it one more time because it's super important for it to sink in, okay? You are able to create a design using a tool like Kittl or Canva, or do it yourself if you are talented enough to do so. I am not. I have to use one of those tools. But you're able to create a design in minutes put that on a product and then literally be selling just like that. And again, to capture those sales on the upswing of a trend rather than the downswing and get out ahead of your competition. And be sure you account for seasonality. Okay, we've got the holiday season right around the corner. Okay, be wary of products that sell or niches that get popular versus one time or another. You can use a trend tool like eRank to map that out on a yearly basis, and you can say, oh, wow, people only want to buy Christmas tree skirts at a certain time of year. Well, that would be the upcoming holiday season. Okay, those are things you're going to have to account for. You know, are mugs more popular during Mother's Day than say Father's Day? All this information is out there, and tools like eRank can get that to you. Okay.
Absolutely. And print on demand, you have a great opportunity here because you don't have to sew a bunch of t-shirts together or print them all yourselves. Print on demand is a great business opportunity because you can see something that just happened, that just started trending, and immediately get that into your shop. That way you can act on these trends quickly. I always recommend listing things like seasonal trends at least 4 months in advance. And consistency, guys, is really key when it comes to anything in business, whether that be your branding, your marketing, or, whatever it is that you've chosen for your niche. Because ultimately, all of these things are like a song. Your consistency should be like a song. If somebody were to sing you a song, you would start bobbing your head and start memorizing the words. However, if they changed the words to that song every single time they sang it to you, you wouldn't remember it. So consistency is the thing that is going to make your brand stand out, but it's also going to help you to build a memorable brand that people can come back to and buy from again and again.
Excellent. Thank you, Starla. All right. Before we head along to the Q&A portion of today's presentation, why don't we go over those prizes one more time that we're going to be giving away at the end?
Yeah, guys. So we're going to be giving away 5 eRank expert plans. Those are normally $30 a month. You're going to be getting 12 free months of eRank expert plans. That way you can really deep dive into your trend research and even your keyword optimization. Okay. Then we're going to be giving away 2 access passes to my Alpha Holiday Bootcamp. That is going to be a 7-day bootcamp that's going to help you to create marketing for social media. And it's going to help you to plan out a marketing campaign that will last you through October, November, and the greater part of December before you hit those holiday shipping deadlines. Then we're going to be giving away 1 Handmade Alpha Academy scholarship. That is my A to Z How to Be Successful on Etsy full course. But that also comes with eRank, and it comes with annual access to our Alpha holiday boot camps, and you get support from me as well.
All right. Thank you. All right. And thank you to everyone that submitted a question. And my apologies if we don't get to them all, but we'll try to do as many as we can. Are you ready, Starla?
I am ready. And if we don't get to all of them, I'll actually be on my YouTube channel tomorrow answering questions about this exact topic. So feel free to come hang out with me over there.
Exactly. Don't miss it. All right. So Julie Bell asks, how do you follow a trend when it's not in your niche?
Ooh, well, that's a good question, but you don't need to act on every trend that you see. I know that sometimes we get excited because we see something that's trending, but this is why it's important to keep track of things like Pantone's color of the year, for example. That's a really great trend that almost any industry could take advantage of. But if you sell products for babies, for example, and you see that, I don't know, I think that we used death metal as an example earlier in the day, maybe you don't make death metal items for babies. It probably just doesn't go together, even if that, death metal theme is trending. You have to latch on to the trends that are actually going to fit the niche that you've chosen.
Yeah, and you mentioned something there with the Pantone trending colors. There are other companies that put out trend reports as well. One of my favorites is the Instagram trend report that they put out there and make it free and available to everybody. So this information is out there. All you got to do is search it out. Okay? Thank you for your question. Our next question is from Quinn Nielsen. Hey, thanks, Quinn, for joining. Sorry, Quinn, your question disappeared, and my apologies to you, Quinn. My apologies to you, Quinn. Let's go move on to Rachel's question. Rachel Farley asked, is it okay to have a shop with several niches as long as each design also targets a sub-niche? Interesting question.
Yeah, I think that it really depends how different they are. What I would focus on is the target customer the same person? And is the overall song that your brand is singing the same song? So, if you're selling baby onesies and antique cigar boxes, that's a little weird. People probably aren't going to want those two items in the same shop. I think that what makes the most sense is the obvious choice here. So just make sure that they make sense together.
Wonderful. Thank you for your question. Our next question comes from Yvette Briscoe, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Yvette asks, if you sort by most voted, will you see what everyone is really wanting to know? If you sort by most voted, will you see what everyone is really wanting to know? I might need a little bit more clarification on this question. Now, if you sort by most popular, I think she's talking about research tools like eRank or maybe Google Trends. If you sort by most popular, well, yeah, that's a great way, at least to get you started, to find out which niches might be popular. What say you, Starla?
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely sort by the most popular searched terms over at eRank if that was your question, and that can give you a good idea of what those most searched items are. But I actually like to compete a little bit farther down that list because usually the things that are at the very top are very hard to compete in. So I kind of like to scroll down that list a little bit and target some of those low-hanging fruits.
Exactly. Here's one for me. Anonymous user asked, how do what if my niche isn't that popular? Should I still target it? Well, just because it may not seem popular, you might be surprised how many people out there in the world share your same interests. And if it's not that popular, well, what if that also means that it's not so popular for other print-on-demand sellers to also target? So you might have identified something in which there's not a lot of competition. So even though there might not be a lot of people out there, well, you might have enough to at least build the foundations of a profitable print-on-demand business. I say give it a try. Okay, the barrier to entry in print-on-demand is pretty low. I mean, Printify, you can use it for free. So I don't know, give it a try, and you might be surprised. And in so doing, you can connect with people all around the world that share your same interests. Okay, all right, let's find another question here. Quinn, I think I found your question again. Quinn Nielsen asked, any suggestions how to niche down into trademark industries like Star Wars without breaking laws?
Well, unfortunately, there's no real way to do that without breaking the law. And I know a lot of people do it, but just as many people get caught because the licensing for Star Wars, which would be owned by Disney, is millions of dollars. And you can see that on Disney's official website. Same with the NFL, which also requires you to hold several $1 million in licensing as well. Or not licensing, insurance for your brand. So typically it's better to aim for targets that are a little bit easier. Now, I personally license with authors because authors are really easy to target. They're usually really happy to, work with small creators, even print-on-demand creators. And it also gives you a unique opportunity to help them out because typically you pay out a small commission to them. Another one that you might consider are indie game studios. So smaller video game studios will also typically do licensing. But trying to go for those big targets like Disney, it's just not possible for small sellers like us, unfortunately.
Yeah, and Quinn, I've had this conversation a lot with merchants. They think they're being really clever. Like, oh, but no, I put the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon on the other side, and it's something completely different. It's not a long-term strategy for success. So if you want to sell licensed Star Wars or Disney merchandise, okay, start saving your pennies and pay for the licensing, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Moving along, Amanda Porter asks, how do you find inspiration for your niche when it's so heavily saturated? I'm a graphic designer and service a lot of creative photographers, etc., who have many other print resources at their disposal. I've got an answer to this, but let's hear what you have to say.
Well, I think that if your niche is already saturated, you have to find the thing that makes you stand out. So for example, if you are a pet photographer, maybe you find a fun way to do those photos. Maybe you find a fun way to add in some crazy effects. You make the dog look like it's giant walking through a city. You know, there's ways that you can uniquely niche yourself within your niche to make your brand stand out, even in those crazy saturated niches. For example, in my bookish shop that we're building, yes, there's tons of people who are doing what I do, but we're doing it all with watercolor designs specifically. So that's what makes us unique.
Exactly. And a saturated niche also means it's a popular niche, okay? That means
Yes.
there are customers there. In a lot of cases, the pie is big enough for everyone to get a slice. You just have to put out something that nobody else has, something unique, something that they can only get from you. Put it on a quality product, okay, and put it up and do everything on the back end with your SEO. But at the end of the day, you have to put up something that somebody wants to buy. Give your customer a reason to buy from you rather than your competition. Okay, thank you for your question. All right, moving right along. Rachel Farley asks a question. Thank you, Rachel. Is it okay to have a shop with several niches as long as each designs also target a sub-niche? I think this is an Etsy style question.
I was going to say, didn't we just answer this one? I think this one was the same one that we answered a few minutes ago.
Was it?
I can answer it again. I think that was a duplicate.
Moving along.
That's how you guys know it's really live.
Okay. Yeah, that's how you know it's live, people. That's how you know it's live. Okay, let's go ahead and move along. We got time for a couple more questions, and then let's give away some prizes. How's that? Okay.
Let's do it.
John Ardea asks, will Printify have 3D mockups? Ooh, that's a good question. Stay tuned. Okay, stay tuned. That's all I got to say. Okay, I'm not saying anything. You didn't hear from me. You didn't hear from me. If you tell them I told you, I will deny it. Stay tuned. Okay. All right, let's do a couple more. Robert Moore asks, knowing that teacher and nurse are the most popular, what's the advice for getting? Oh, this is a very similar question. Yeah. If you want to sell teacher and nurse stuff, make sure it's different from everybody else. Moving on. Okay. Okay, let's find one more.
Be unique, guys. That's the overall lesson of today is be unique.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Here's a good one for you, Starla. Okay. How do you know if your SEO is working?
Ooh, that is a great question. Well, we've got a couple really great tools over at eRank. We have this tool called the Change Tracker that is fantastic for actually monitoring after you've made changes to your tags and titles. It will take a daily snapshot of your listing and tell you how things like your views, favorites, and sales have changed as a result of those edits. I personally recommend tracking that listing about a week before you make those changes because it's hard to really analyze your data if you don't have a beginning set of data to start with. You need to have that initial set of data to analyze. Then you make your changes. Then you keep an eye on it for 60 to 90 days is the standard and see if those changes help. Just keep in mind that SEO isn't a set it and forget it thing. You have to monitor it. You have to keep an eye on it. And sometimes you got to update it.
Exactly. And thank you for everyone that submitted a question. We just don't have time to get to them all. I really apologize. But the good news is you can join Starla tomorrow. Okay, ask her the questions in person. You can also join me for my live Q&A sessions on Mondays and Wednesdays. So there's no shortage of people to talk to about this. Thank you very much, Starla. What do you say? Let's give away some prizes.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, our first prize, which is 5 free eRank expert plans. Okay, and here's your trivia question. Okay, which of the following keywords was not, I repeat, was not trending on Etsy recently? Okay, your choices are Halloween, home decor, beachwear, or unique gift. I'll give you a moment to put in your answer. Okay, but which of these was not recently trending on Etsy? Okay. All right, everybody put their answer in? Okay, for 5 free eRank expert plans, the answer is beachwear. Beachwear. Okay, one thing you should keep in mind when it comes to beachwear is, it's popular, but at the run-up and beginning of summer. Okay, not so much here at the end of summer and the beginning of fall, okay? Because everybody, although the weather might be nice where you are, okay? People have already bought their tank tops, they've already bought their weekender bags, okay? So use a tool like eRank, put in a search term like beachwear, boom, so then you know exactly when you should position yourself to capture those sales on the upswing, okay? And congratulations to the winners. We'll be sure to pass that information along to Starla, and she'll be in touch on how you can claim your prize. Let's move along. The next question for the prize of 2 scholarships to Starla's Holiday Boot Camp. That's 2 scholarships to Starla's Holiday Boot Camp, where you can position yourself to make the best out of the busiest time of the year, the upcoming holiday season. Now, the question is, how many subscribers does Starla Moore have on YouTube? Okay, is it 15? I hope you have more than that. 1.2K, 100 million, or 65K? Okay, I think I hear in the background people feverishly putting in Starla Moore on YouTube. And if you do, why don't you go ahead and subscribe to her channel while you're there? Okay, I'll give you a little bit more.
You better.
Give you a little bit more time to answer. But the winner of 2 scholarships to Starla's Holiday Boot Camp are going to be randomly selected from the people who answered 65,000 subscribers on YouTube. And Starla, I think you've gained yourself a few more after this appearance. Okay, let's move on to the grand prize, which is a lifetime membership to the Handmade Alpha Academy. You yourself can be one of those people that spams all of the chats wherever Starla goes with a wolf emoji. And this was a lifetime subscriber membership to the Handmade Alpha Academy. The question is, which eRank tool showcases the top 100 popular print-on-demand items? And I hope you were paying attention because Starla actually mentioned it earlier on in our discussion. Okay, is it Rank Checker, monthly trend report, category tool, or top sellers report? Okay, put your answer into the quiz box there. And good luck to you, because the answer was monthly trend report. And if you're paying attention, you knew that. Shame on you if you missed it. Okay, but congratulations to the winner. Again, we will share the information with Starla. She'll be in contact with you, and you'll be able to claim your prize thusly. Okay? Wow, Starla, this was a good one. I loved talking niches. We can all tell that you love talking niches. This is absolutely awesome. Starla, is there anything you want to say to our audience before we say goodbye?
Yeah, if you guys didn't get your questions answered, hang out with me tomorrow at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. UK, over on my YouTube channel, Starla Moore. I'm the only one. I'm easy to find.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for joining us. And again, apologies if we didn't get to all your questions, but no worries. We won't leave any question unanswered. And remember to stay tuned for Amplified, because we are going to be right back, and we still haven't given away our big prize yet. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.